Aloha, my friends. I'm coming to you live from an old, hollowed out redwood tree in the redwood forest in California. And I wanted to speak to you about a really powerful planetary aspect that we have right now that happened in about May. The planet Pluto went retrograde. And we're all very familiar with Mercury retrograde being a time when, sometimes there's hiccups with traveling or different odds and ends are challenging here or there. Oh, it's Mercury retrograde. We're familiar with this. But what is Pluto retrograde? What is that all about anyway? So to unpack this, we have to first understand what is the energy of Pluto about. And, planets are more than just planets up in the sky. Planets are really actually sort of components of the human psyche. And so Pluto, if we were to compare Pluto to the human psyche, is all about the subconscious, right? And that's why I came to this burned out redwood tree, right? Is because the unconscious is a little bit like this black, dark inner place where we don't always go, right? The subconscious is deep within us. It's all those areas and arenas and components of ourself that are not having the light shine on it at this exact moment. Our conscious mind is what's awake, what we're aware of, right? So if I were to suddenly say, think about your big toe. What? Well, suddenly you're going to think about your big toe, and then your consciousness is going to flow to that big toe and light it up with your awareness and with your energy. So the unconscious is simply all of the things we're not aware of when our conscious mind is directed elsewhere. So Pluto represents the undercurrents. If you're going to talk about it astrologically, Pluto could represent the mafia. Pluto could represent Secret Service. Pluto represents everything that is secret or hidden. And so that's why I'm always like, Pluto is like the subconscious, the unconscious, right? And the unconscious is where everything comes from, truly, right? It takes the unconscious to create for it to come into the material. And so when Pluto, the planet of the deep unconscious, is retrograde, wow. And it's not like a quick thing, like Mercury retrograde is a 2-week cycle. Pluto retrograde lasts months. And so Pluto will be retrograde until October. So this is not this is a slow burn. This is a slowly peeling away the layers to reveal greater awareness. Okay, so that's one component of Pluto retrograde. The second is, well, what sign is this Pluto retrograde in? And Pluto retrograde is in the sign of Sagittarius. And what is Sagittarius? Well, it's a very different energy from Pluto. Sagittarius is all about freedom, all about expansion. The symbol, of course, for Sagittarius is the centaur with the bow and arrow shooting its bow and arrow up to the sky, right? Aiming for the highest in knowledge and awareness and spirituality and energy. And so when Pluto, the planet of the unconscious, the planet of the deep inner awareness, they also call Pluto power. Pluto is all about power, our personal power, and how often do we suppress our personal power and push it down into the subconscious. And so when Pluto goes retrograde, what comes to mind to me is, where have you buried your power? Where have you suppressed your might? Where have you buried your magma? Because Pluto also represents volcanoes. And so there are probably very deep, powerful energies that have been buried within you. That's what Pluto says. And when it goes retrograde, it becomes an unwinding. It becomes this opportunity to start to dive in, to go deeper, to allow deep buried undercurrents to begin to rise up to our awareness. Because when Pluto goes retrograde, it says, where have you disowned your power? Where have you left pieces of yourself that you could be utilizing? Where have you left them behind, and how can you allow them to come forth and be activated, be liberated, bring them into your awareness to utilize them? And so Pluto retrograde is catalytic, right? We've heard of the words catalytic, transformational, phoenix. These are all Pluto retrograde energies. So as we're going along and we're working and we're tending to friends and to family and we're following our purpose and our path in life, when Pluto goes retrograde, it's going to be this deep, like unconscious throbbing pulsation of awareness that is going to grow over the next 3 months. And so if you're feeling a nibbling, if you're feeling a sense of something speaking to you or calling to you, reaching out to you, sort of engaging you, this is that Pluto retrograde energy. And it's deep, it's intense, and because it's in the sign Sagittarius, it's asking for truth, full truth, and expansion and knowledge. You might even be drawn to traveling, because Sagittarius is all about the traveler, all about far foreign travel, in fact. So maybe you'll be going somewhere really far, right? Maybe you'll be like really expanding your vistas and your horizons and traveling far beyond where you thought you could travel before. But there's going to be layers of things coming up. So if this is happening for you, if you're feeling some very deep, intense, volcanic energy drawing forwards in your life, I tuned into the energy and I was like, there's so much happening and it's probably triggering people very deeply. I should offer readings at a very low rate right now so that anyone who needs to can come and ask me questions. So I have a new offer, which is $1 a minute sessions. So if you want to get on live with me and just find out, for instance, what astrological house or arena of your life is this Pluto retrograde affecting, jump on with me. And then if you want to do more, if you want to do a healing session with that, we can do it, but it'll be up to you. You can decide. So you can email me at blossomwithlotusnow@gmail.com. I'm happy to set you up with a session. I know how intense Pluto is because Pluto is the planet of sex, death, and rebirth. It's the planet of the phoenix, right? Just like this tree, this incredibly beautiful redwood tree got burned with fire, it's still here. And so Pluto retrograde is saying, where have you been hurt that you have kind of solidified around that, and it's keeping you from holding your full power. It's going to push those things up to the surface so that you can heal and release them, so that you can step into your full power, so that you can rise up again, reborn into the power and might of your true soul, your true spirit, just like these redwood trees have done in their lives. So Pluto is a deep, powerful energy. If you're drawn to the phoenix, rebirth, death, rebirth, that beautiful, powerful energy of the soul, right? The soul arising and rising from the greatest depths to transform into its highest purpose, then you are definitely someone keyed in and ready for this Pluto retrograde period. Secrets will be revealed. Truth will be coming out in our own lives and in the collective, in the government, and in the larger systems. So that can be an uncomfortable and potent time. You may be feeling that activation. Now, in the next video, I'm going to talk about the fact that Saturn, the planet of structure and government, is also going to be going retrograde on the 17th, 18th of June. But for now, I will leave you with Pluto retrograde and the knowledge that there's another retrograde coming, and perhaps that's combination pushing everything up. I think I'm going to do a video tomorrow about Saturn going retrograde and all of that and what it's going to mean. But if you have questions about Pluto retrograde, please reach out. I'm happy to do a mini reading for you. And again, I just want to come to you from this place of power around whatever is coming up for you right now. Please remember your strength. Please remember how rooted and grounded and connected you are to a force that is beyond anything that this external reality can bring forward to you. Please trust in your internal source. Please trust in your personal power and your ability to transform. And please know that we are soul having a human experience. And all of these travails are here to bring us back to alignment, to our true self, to who we truly are. So I send you so much love from my heart, from these beautiful redwood trees. Truly, how does it get better than this? And what else is possible? Sending you love from my heart. Aloha to you all.